One of the first things I notice about this assignment is that it shows that I can be efficient without cutting corners. Some of my other papers that you can see on here are much longer. They have some more verbose wording, and you just don't have time for that when you're in the classroom making meaningful interventions for multiple students. And so this is more realistically what a good intervention looks like. It's still jam-packed with all kinds of meaningful information, but it's not a manual. You've got the most important information on there, and you're not going to write a novel. What else? One of the other things that I thought about as part of this reflection is that we talked a lot in this course about the implications for reading on quality of life issues. And so interventions such as these are so important for teachers to be able to make. And honestly, I'm glad I don't have to show you one of the interventions that I had developed prior to this course because it was nowhere near as good. This shows that I've grown in terms of understanding various research-based practices and intervention strategies for students, and then I'm able to actually put those into practice. And in fact, this was for a student of mine, and another reflection is that it's adaptable. I had a lot of good strategies in there, and when one didn't quite work out, the student didn't like me reading at the same time as him or her, and so I had to use one of the other strategies more often that was listed in the intervention. It could also be, you could also move some of these strategies to a more independent level. Some of these things you could build a self-monitoring system for and have the student begin to do the check-in, check-out method and take more responsibility for their learning that way. One of the things that I would really like to include, in the same way that a good behavior intervention plan includes a way to make sure the plan is working, I'd like to include an evaluation as part of this as well. So you get the sense that although we've chosen one Common Core standard that we're going to use these interventions for, once you get to know your students, and I have 8 working at a center school, you get to know which strategies are most effective for them, and you can reuse some of those in order to teach various standards. So if you're going to reuse those standards, you may as well have an evaluation plan to see if and how well it's really working. Do I need to bolster those supports, or is the student ready to move toward more independent possibilities like the self-monitoring plan? I'm lucky that I don't have to show you some of the interventions that I tried to create before this course because they were not this good. I didn't look at these specific elements, and my knowledge of strategies was severely lacking. So I think this artifact really shows a good amount of strategies in a real-world context and a strategy that I used successfully for an actual student.